All right, it is Sunday. It is the 26th of October. We're talking about fruit of the Spirit, cultivating the fruit of the Spirit. And before we get into the actual how-tos, I'm going to give you one more principle regarding agape or love. If you read Paul's letters, in the letter to the Romans, he says something to the effect that love is the fulfilling of the law. Now, what does that mean? As you know, we get a lot of commandments in the Bible, and we're supposed to do those commandments. I can do a lot of those commandments without love. I can do them as a matter of duty. Washing the dishes, cleaning up your room, vacuuming the house, paying my taxes, whatever. I can do those things without any love being involved. But if I do them with love, then I'm being biblical about it. And again, we'll talk about that with our next video. But anyhow, if I'm going to love God, if I'm going to love my neighbor, first of all with God, if I'm going to love him, that means I'm going to want to do what's going to benefit him and to be obedient to him. If I love God, then I'm going to read the Bible because I want to find out what commandments I need to follow. I'm going to find out what I need to do to please him. Those are acts of love. The same thing with my neighbor. In order to love my neighbor biblically, I need to know what the Bible says. So I've got to read it. I've got to understand it so that I can act in a way that's biblical and loving. For example, after Jesus Christ was risen from the dead, he asked Peter a question. And I'm paraphrasing it. I don't have it in front of me. He says, "Peter, lovest thou me?" Peter, do you love me? And Peter says, "Well, sure I love you." And Jesus Christ says, "Feed my sheep." Okay, in order for Peter to demonstrate his love to Jesus Christ, he had to obey. Remember, we said, if you love me, keep my commandments. Love and obedience are intertwined. So if Peter's going to feed his sheep, now remember we talked about figures of speech. It doesn't mean going out and feeding sheep in the field. It means growing the disciples of Jesus Christ. In order for Peter to know how to do that, again, he's got to read the Bible. He's got to understand it, then he's got to put it to use. One of the Bible verses that we're to obey, it's a command, where in the letter to the Hebrews it said to consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works. So you know who my cousin Mary Lou is, and we were talking this morning, and I had to sit back and consider her. I had to think about her. And I said, I need to provoke her to perform acts of love. And I have to know a little bit about her. I've got to go out of my way. I've got to engage myself in some labor so that I know how to properly feed her and provoke her unto love. And one of the things she's struggling with is there are some commandments she's having a problem with. So I said, how can I best serve her? Because it's all about service and helping another person. And I gave her some ideas and suggestions. She's in a Bible study in Kentucky, and we talked about it. And because I was being obedient to the commandment to love and to obey, I was able to give her some suggestions on how to be obedient to a couple of verses. And so in a sense, I fulfilled the law by doing those things, by demonstrating the fruit of the Spirit, which is love, or agape. I was able to help her out. So that's just one example. The next video, hopefully we can talk about how do we actually nurture this thing called love. What does that mean? Hope you're all doing well. Talk to you later.